Welcome to the Edward Fowler Show here on the 16th of January on this lovely Saturday night here in the UK, or 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast, or even 1 p.m. Eastern. So still quite early, or early afternoon, depending where you are, but nice and evening here. Only a few hours to go before we can all go to bed here in the UK. But wherever you're watching us from, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the show, because we're joined by a music artist. He is a record artist as well, I have to say. But he's joining us from somewhere on West Coast America. He is DMoney Johnson. Welcome to my show, and thank you for accepting to be a guest today.
Awesome, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And again, this is like, I'm just bringing everybody who knows me. So welcome to the show, and thank you for giving me a follow about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm just curious to know, how did you come across my profile? Was it through the other music artists I had on the show a few weeks earlier?
Honestly, I don't remember. It might have been because of another music artist.
Yeah.
Or it was just a suggestion. But it looked like you had some pretty interesting content.
Yes, because you followed me on Instagram about maybe a few hours after I had on Trey Cinco on the show. He was a hip-hop artist from the Bay Area who kicked off this year on this show. So it's good to have you on as well and learn more about you. So are you currently in Southern California? Because that's what it says on Google. And of course, you can't always believe everything on Google, but just to throw that out there, you can say, no, I'm not in Southern California, I'm in this location.
Yeah, definitely Southern California.
Oh, nice. How is the weather there? Is it quite warm still, or is it quite cold now?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know what you consider cold, but I mean, in the evenings it gets pretty cold, but it's quite perfect if you ask me.
That's good. No rain, then just sunny as always.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good to hear. So tell the audience here today why and how you got involved in becoming a songwriter / music artist then, because it's quite an interesting story you have.
Well, I mean, I've always really been into music. I learned that I was good at writing at a very young age, like when I was in elementary school, I'd say. And then as far as becoming an artist, I always wanted to be one. And I just started taking steps towards it like in 2008, 2009. And then it got real serious like in 2013.
Gotcha.
So
means you started out in the noughties, in the late noughties. So that's very cool. Means you could do a bit more edgier content than you could do, in the teens. Because I always think that there's, like every decade it was, it's different, isn't it? And of course my favorite decade has to be the noughties, because it was the generation I grew up in, and I thought it was more edgier content you can put out there than nowadays. I don't know if you feel the same about that, but I mean, was there a few music artists you looked up to when you were starting out?
There's way too many lists. I mean, I know I like a lot of Kanye West at the time. The list, it's like a never-ending list. And then I listen to all genres too, so that makes it even more of a broad list.
Interesting. Well,
but actually at that time, I was listening to mainly rap.
Yeah.
And of course, oldies have always been around because of my parents and stuff like that, but it was mainly rap music. But then as I got older, as an artist, you get tired of listening to the exact same thing. Even if it's not exactly the same, it's similar enough. So I started broadening my genre list and started listening to like literally everything from country to classical, a bunch of Frank Sinatra stuff like this, and all that stuff inspired me as well, and helped open my mind up to trying different things. Yeah. So I listen to literally everything.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you there, but I'm so happy you didn't decide to go do it into country music. Not one of my favorite genres. I don't know if the viewers who are watching this may disagree with that. I apologize if I offended you there, but it's not my cup of tea. However, so I'm very grateful you've not gone into that category either. And of course, you can probably tell by that, because we will never bring anybody from the country onto the show, because I'm not a big fan of the country side of music. However, but what made you to pick to go into rap and hip hop music then?
I mean, it kind of just was the thing. It was just the thing that everyone was doing. Like you said, in the '90s, I mean, who didn't listen to rap really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just there, and I enjoyed it. You know, from the time I was a kid up until now, I still love rap. It's just nowadays it seems a little bit harder for me to find newer, you know, artists that I like really become a big fan of.
I agree there because I feel like
But there's so the industry's kind of saturated, so
yes,
there's just you know.
yeah, I agree with you there because as you said, because it feels like back in the 90s and the noughties there was loads of more rap music from loads of people. Nowadays it seems more like there's more pop music around, like more people going into that kind of music or into country or or even into I don't know if this is the right word for it, but like remixes and stuff like that. So I'm not really keen, but I'm glad you're trying to keep up to bring back rap music into the modern day viewer and modern day listener. And when you were starting out and you were starting to get traction, were you expecting the the feedback you received in how big you kind of grew?
Well, I kind of just always have my mindset like I'm gonna be able. Like right now, my mindset's still it's still like really large as far as like where I'm gonna go and end up. Like I just always know I wasn't gonna give up and I wasn't gonna stop. And even like where I'm at today, like I said, it's nowhere near even like remotely close to where I plan to be. But I knew I've always known, yes, I'm gonna become something. I ain't gonna give. I'm not gonna give up whatsoever.
Yeah.
Even when times, like when it gets hard, and of course, as a rap artist, like we're talking about, the industry's saturated, so you're gonna have millions and millions of people doing the exact same thing. So then then the question comes to where it's like, how do you separate yourself from everybody else? How do you do what other people aren't doing? You can have quality of work, that's dope. That's always dope. Qualities and talent is inevitable in some people, but then there's the other parts that come behind it, investing your money into marketing and promoting and let's say like reaching out to other people to do your videos or do like an email list you may need, just different things you have to outsource, and it's going to cost money. It's going to, you know what I mean? So if you expect a label to sign you or whatever, and you expect them to put all their bread on you, it's like, I don't know, a lot of people would expect that. They think they're that good, but it's like, would they put that money into themselves? If they wouldn't, then then why would you want a label to do it? You see what I'm saying?
I do agree, and it's like pretty much anything nowadays where there's really lots of competition in anything you do, and it'd be like in this kind of format. I am, as far as I know, I don't think there's a format like this kind of format, but there's other shows like this on YouTube available, and it's quite hard to grab the attention. To get more people tuning into this show and to grow this show, just like yourself, because you want to grow even bigger as well. And have you got particular goals you want to achieve then in 2021? Because of course, you probably think, let's just forget what happened in 2020 because not much happened in 2020 because of the whole world being locked down and whatnot. But I mean, I'm sure you're looking forward to the future and hoping to grow your brand even more and your music to actually expand your music reach to more people from around the world.
Yeah, I have a lot of goals. The thing is that of course, with what's going on, that may kind of deter my goals into a different direction. So I kind of got to see how everything's happening. I could take whatever matters I can take into my own hands, but I kind of got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
But one goal I do have is to have a number in my head for an amount of streams and sales that I want. So that's one simple goal. But every quarter that goal goes up higher and higher. You know what I mean? So I would say the goals that I really have are personal. Like I want to make sure I put this much time into music every day, or this much. I want to record this many songs by this date. Stuff like that. Stuff that you wouldn't really think would take you to the next level, but it does because it's keeping you active and your brain is staying in the game.
Yeah, I agree there with you, and I do hope that this year is an interesting year for you, and hopefully by spring, last summer of this year, hopefully you'll be able to go and do some more stuff in public and stuff like that. And I'm sure as well you want to host some concerts as well in the future as well, hopefully within the next few years, if you can, of course, with what may happen next. But I mean, I'm guessing that's on your bucket list of doing as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'd like to do like a good. I used to do at least 2 shows a week, 2 legit shows a week. But like I said, and I was building all this, like, and it was everything was going in the right direction before everything happened with the
Mm.
pandemic and whatnot. So as soon as this is over, we'll be back in business. Like I had literally like 6 shows lined up where I already got paid the deposits and everything, and then they all got canceled. So when everything opens back up, I'm sure those will get rescheduled, and then I'll be working. Once I have like a niche that everything's reopening, I'm already gonna be back on it and booking shows ahead of time.
Cool, cool. Well, we can't wait for that. And I do hope you come to the UK as well. I do hope you got some UK following as well, by your growth on both Instagram and Twitter as well, because you got over 70,000 followers on Instagram and then about 10,000 on Twitter or something like that. So combined, you've got good reach so far on social media. So hopefully it will grow even more as into the coming years and such. But I do hope you do come to the UK and entertain the people over here. Give something different.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I haven't been to the UK, but I'm definitely down to go. Like that's for sure on the list too. That's another goal I had, was to broaden it and start going to different places, because my following is kind of like scattered. So there'll be like 5 people in this country I've never heard of, 6 over here. So it's like I might do a show that's really far away, and there'll be just a few people there that have been a fan for a long time, which is still dope. I'm still appreciative of it. But also while I'm there, my goal is to gain as many new fans as I can. So like I'll even go, if I have the time, I'll go out to that country or city, a week ahead of time, so I can promote, and gain, so that so they can be intrigued and want to come to the show. So by the time they come to the show, they're already listening to the music
Yeah,
a week ahead of time.
yeah.
So you got to put in that kind of footwork, and people aren't really willing to do that nowadays.
Yeah, because I've seen stuff like on the internet where people say that 92% of people just promote online now instead also in promoting like on the streets, going to people's doors, posting stuff through people's doors to say, look, I got this event coming up, I got this concert coming up, come and check us out. The tickets are available at this website or whatever. And this person said that 90% of us are now just lazy and just doing it through the internet, which isn't always a good thing, because you don't always get the reach you may want via the internet platform. And sometimes the best way to get more traction is going on the streets, talking to people, giving them postcards, giving them gift cards, whatever it may be, to come and check out the concert. And I don't know if you agree with that statement or not.
Yeah, I agree with it 100%. I mean that's the best way to do it. I mean, I'm not gonna downplay internet promotion and whatnot. You definitely should do that. But I feel like as an artist, you should be in the streets, catching some air, walking around, building relationships, and people take it way more personally when you hand them a card or whatever, and they actually got to meet you and they actually like you without even hearing your music. You're gonna, from my experience, being out and about, I'll get, or let's say I just follow a bunch of people on Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case may be. You can sit there and follow, like, let's say 100 people. If you're in the streets and you go up to 10 people, so out of that 100 people, maybe 3 might follow back or something.
Yeah.
But in person, if you do 10 people, out of those 10 people, you probably got 4 new fans. If your game was on point that day.
Yeah, I agree there with you, and so far we are agreeing with each other. It's great. It's a good chemistry. I like it. We did quite good because we both have valid points, and it's good to agree with somebody 100% for once. Because usually people have different opinions, and can all go off topic. But I'm glad we're disagreeing here. This is great. This is very good. Because again, feel free to disagree with me, by the way, because
Oh yeah,
it's insightful for discussions, because we like to have discussions as well. So for the people out there that think this is all staged, it's not staged. My guests have no idea what I'm going to ask him next, so I don't have any questions pre-recorded, because I'm not like that here on the show. If you're new around here, by the way, I have no script, only what's in the description below of this video. So of course you say early on you said you were Kanye West inspired you and stuff like that. So I'm guessing hopefully maybe one day you and him can do a collab. Hopefully. That'd be cool if you two did a collab in the long run.
Yeah.
Of course, if he's not too busy being a political person.
Yeah, honestly, when I said that, I mean, like I said, the list is very long. I just remember that the album College Dropout, I think is what it was. I just was so into it. This was a long time ago too. This was like in 2003 or 2 maybe.
Oh yeah.
So that's what just came to mind at that moment, because I have like a vivid memory of everything in my life, like on like a timeline. Like I remember exactly what I was doing at what time. So I remember when I was deciding to that I'm going to for sure be a rapper. I was in middle school, and I just remembered I was listening to All Falls Down like over and over again at that time. Now, would I say I'm a huge fan of him? I mean, at times, I would say like right now I'm a big fan of J. Cole. I love his work, like everything he does. I like. Of course, people are gonna hate this, but I'm a big fan of Drake. Uh, this goes on and on and on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know.
And to go, I try not to let anyone, because the more you listen to somebody, the more you're gonna, without realizing it, get their stuff programmed into your subconscious. So as an artist, when you go to write, or your delivery may sound similar to theirs. And one thing I'm trying to do is, if you look at all the greats, they end up doing what they do in a way that no one else can do it. They have a sound no one else has. So people try to imitate them. So that's what I'm going for at this point.
Mm. I like it. I like it, and you know, it's good tips. And speaking of your music as well, because you've released some great songs over the past few years, and I'm just wondering how you come up with the lyrics and the title of the songs. Do you take inspirations from maybe your happy place, wherever it may be, or from a certain location, or from a certain song you may listen to in the past? How you come up with these great lyrics and titles for these songs?
Okay, so in the past, I was like, well, I'm a perfectionist in a sense. So like, I would always like, I name a song. It's gonna be about this. This is what I'm gonna rap about or sing about, whatever. And I stick to the concept. But what I've learned is it comes out much, much better when I kind of just let what happens happen. So what I'll do nowadays is when we go to when you go to a studio session, the first thing the engineer asks you is what we're going to call it, because he has to put something in there for that session.
Gotcha.
I never have a title anymore. I'm like, I don't know. What we're going to call it, what we call it. And then I just get to work and I write about basically past experiences or what I'm going through at that very second. I used to also write before I would go to the studio. Like I said, just because I want to make sure when I get there, you know, you're paying for the time. I want the time to be utilized efficiently. I want to use every drop, like every single minute there. But now what I do is, now that I can afford to record a little bit longer, is I'll just go in there and whatever vibe I'm feeling is what vibe I'm feeling. Because if I write the song, let's say today, and then I go in there on 2 weeks from today, yeah, the lyrics will be the same, but the delivery is not going to be up to par because I'm not going to be feeling the exact same way I felt today on that day.
Gotcha.
Even though it could be amazing content, it's not going to come. It's not going to sound the same way it sounded when you wrote it. So it's best to just do it all the same day, in my opinion. So basically, I do the whole song, and then when the song's done, whatever sounds most repetitive or whatever sticks to like the content that we delivered that day, that's what we name it right then and there. And a lot of times, I might let somebody else name it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think we should name it? Depending on who's there.
Yeah. That's quite good. It means not only do you have you know, something you really want to talk about or, you know, say in your certain song, but you also take in you know, criticism and let other people suggest names as well as they like, you know, because sometimes you don't meet as much artists who let other people put their idea then, and then you all come up to a, you know, into a collab into one name, because it's quite unique. That because most artists are quite selfish, aren't they? You know, they just think of it on their own kind of thing. I'd be like, is that a good title for it? Or I'll just go with it and see what happens, see what the feedback's like. And has there been a particular popular song which people have liked the most so far, or do you think the feedback you've received from your fans so far has been, you know, overwhelming support on all the tracks you've released so far and all your singles?
It's kind of been overall on all of them in a sense, but every time I drop something, I can tell, I can see what songs are getting played the most. Also, now the one thing about, you know, the era that we're in, and it's really dope because I can see all the analytics. I can see where it was streamed the most at, which song was streamed the most. So if I based off of that, the Night Shift, that song gets streamed like tons and tons and tons. I don't know why. None of my close friends or people that I know really stream it like that. But when I go look at the numbers, that song is way up there. I think it's because a lot of people can relate to it. Like, I wrote it when I was working, the last job that I was working. I wrote it, it's called The Night Shift, because when you're chasing something that's not necessarily paying you at that moment, but you still have to survive. So you go to your day job or whatever it may be. The night shift is when you work on your, on your craft, on what you do. So it takes an amazing person to have enough energy to be able to deal with all life shit, and then also deal with, working your full 8 or 12 hour shift, whatever it may be, and then getting off and dedicating this much time to your craft. Like, so that's why I wrote that song. And coincidentally, I was working the night shift at the time. So, I was trying to be optimistic about it. So then I came up with the song and the theme. And that was probably one of the last times that I wrote before I went to the studio. But I put my all into it, like literally, like, because I felt. Remember how I told you earlier, like you'll change the way you feel later on when depending on what you say. Well, that time I did not change. I felt the same way because I was writing that as I was going to, at work to that job at the time. So that one gets streamed a lot. Bay Bridge people like a lot. I think that one because it really is me being super genuine at what I do and a lot of my close friends do. And that one's about motorcycles. But even people that don't like motorcycles or don't ride motorcycles at all, they love that track. Like that. So that track. And then when I would do shows, like I noticed there's something about that song, passionate wise, because whenever I do a show to this day, I close it out with that song. And even if the show was going okay, that song always raises the roof off, like no questions asked. I mean, then the side of me comes out that I don't even know whenever I'm performing it.
That's funny. But it's a good story. I do like it. And do you still work the night shift, or have you moved on since then?
No, that was actually like in 2016. I want to say
5
we
years.
That song. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a minute ago. Yeah, and no, I hadn't worked. It's worked since then.
Good. Well, that's good to hear, because I'm glad you'd have to work night shifts, because I bet they're quite long and they're quite not much happening during the night, depending on the type of job you were doing back in 2016.
That was warehouse work. That was that I was doing at the time.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the thumbs up there, Mike. And funny story, I just say. We're going to say this publicly now, going off the script here, because it was not planned when I scheduled this. So we're going to go off the script. Let's tell you a story here. D-Money, have you ever slept text anybody before?
Say that again?
Yeah, have you ever slept text? So like when you're sleeping, but like sleepwalking, but you don't walk out your bed or nothing. But instead of when somebody messages you or something, and then you're
like sleep text. You said it's like sleep texting.
Yeah, have you done it?
No, I have not. But people have told me that they've done it to me. They're like, honestly, I was fucking like sleeping. I don't know why I said that or whatnot. And I'm a person that's going to keep asking. Well, you had to say it for a reason. You know what I mean? But I haven't personally done it. Because once I'm up, I'm up.
Well, I'll tell you, because I want to know what your friends say before I tell you what I've done. But did your friends say that they were maybe asleep when they text you, or were they awake? Did they know that they text you when in their sleep?
They just say they don't know. They were sleeping. I was sleeping. I just wanted to respond, and I responded.
Yeah, because what happened was somebody messaged me the other night. And 3 hours later, after they messaged me, because I don't remember even hearing them message me, right, because I was asleep, obviously, I then decided to respond to this particular person at 1:53 in the morning, my time, when I was asleep. Now, I thought I was asleep all night long, right, normally. So I opened my text box the next morning, and I seen that this person messaged me, and I thought they messaged me at 1:53 in the morning. I'm thinking, I don't remember reading this or even saying I read it, kind of thing. So I clicked on it, and it was me. I messaged them back at 1:53 in the morning, and it was a complete gibberish. Luckily, the person did not even see it, so I was able to delete it before they saw it, because it was a lot of gibberish, and it was like, it make no sense. But I've never done that in my entire life until 2 days ago. So I don't know why I've done that, but I'm now pleading with people. Do not message me now after a certain time. After 10 o'clock UK time, do not message me, because you may get a bizarre response from me, and it might make no response. Might make no sense to say. And the thing is, I'm a bit worried what I might say myself now, guys. I don't know. Also, as well in the chat room, 3 Vegan Kitty says, "Hey, D-Money."
What's happening?
But yeah.
I've done the only thing I've done while sleeping that I can say is, which I get pissed off thinking about it, is if I don't get much sleep and I have to do something the next day that's very important, it just seems like I'll put the alarm on and it doesn't go off, and that never ever ever happened. So I know that it's me turning it off in my sleep. There's no way it would stop or not
Yeah.
go off. Period. So it's just crazy that I do that. Like I've done that a few times and I hate it. I fucking hate it with a passion.
It's amazing what we do in our sleep, because people just think we just fall to sleep, maybe have some dreams, maybe sometimes, and that's it. But our mind is very interesting. I have to say, we do some silly things when we don't even know we're even doing them. If you're watching this in the live chat or on demand, in our commenting below, let us know if you ever sleep text before to anybody, or even done what D-Money did and turned his own alarm off during his sleep without him even knowing about it. We got another chat message coming in. Big When Beat says, "Hey nephew." Do you know him?
Who's that?
That's from.
How can I can't see.
Big When Beats, WENN.
Oh yeah. What's happening? Yeah.
Good for you, Jonathan. Of course, let us know if you've got a question for D-Money in our live chat as well. If you do, or you can tweet me them on Twitter. All you have to do is hashtag the Edward Fowler Show, and then it should just pop up into my newsfeed. You can say a thing, you comment in hashtag the Edward Fowler Show on Twitter, or you can leave them on our live chat. Let's just talk to D-Money about this as well. For the people who may be watching this or listening to this, maybe new around here, maybe never heard of you before, where can they find you on social media to keep up with everything to do with your music and your projects and whatever else you may post on your amazing social media accounts? Because, it's about plugging you, and throughout tonight's show so far, we have been plugging your social medias.
Nice. So the number one and only D-Money is going to be my social media handle for everything. It'll be for Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's one and only D-Money. And, of course, my website link's there, but the website link is it's DMoneyJohnson.com. So it's very simple. And then YouTube is D-Money Johnson Vivo. But you can find really everything on the website, DMoneyJohnson.com.
There we go. Nice plug there. And I want to know, how did you, D-Money Johnson, when I had somebody else on the show, maybe at the start of the week, they said that someone who calls themselves D-Money means they're in business to get as much, exposure using the word D-Money. So I'm just curious, how did you come up with the name of D-Money?
So the name D-Money was actually given to me. A lot of people, if people are listening that have heard the story, sorry, you got to hear it.
Yeah, sorry. That's right for me. I'm asking the question.
When I was like in like a freshman or sophomore in high school, like I started working at a real early age. So I had, you don't have very many bills at that time. So I had money to make sure I had nice clothes and whatever else. So some girls at school just started calling me D-Money because my real name's Donovan. So I just kind of took it and ran with it. And then for the first D-Money was all it was. And I used to have the little dollar signs on there, whatever else. And then as I grew up, I realized that one, it was kind of too simple and there's too many other D-Monies. So I had to make it to where it was I didn't want to necessarily change my name, because when I do that, I want it to be something super duper crazy and meaningful, and I want to be the only person with that name. So like, if I'm not going to go drastic like that, I'd rather sit there and I'd rather rebrand mine somehow. So then I just added my last name to it, just the Johnson. So in doing that made a significant difference, because now if you Google me, it'll pop right up by itself. Like, it separates you from any other D-Money, period. So that one small change made a huge difference.
Indeed. And, it's very successful. A successful move for you as well in that aspect. It was thought there might be people thinking, why did he call himself D-Money now, or how he came up with that name? So if you're new around here, you now know the answer. Because when I Googled you on YouTube, apart from your music, I just want to see if you've done any other appearances. And to my understanding, from what I researched, nothing came up in that aspect. So I believe this is a very rare appearance for you to do any podcasting, interviewing like this. So we appreciate you for coming and accepting to do this. Because I could be wrong, but they're not posted on YouTube if they have interviewed you before, depending who you may be, but they've not interviewed you on YouTube. From what I could find by typing in.
I don't think I've had any YouTube live. I haven't done any live
No.
interviews. Actually, I mean, I've done them in person and they broadcast them, but never like a Zoom type call thing like this before.
Well, you know, we are different from all the other interviewers. We don't do them pre-recorded. We do it live and in HD, just to prove to people that live is better, unedited, so that anything my guest says can't be taken out of context, because we don't want that.
Genuine.
And we don't want rumours to be started and stuff like that to do with any of my guests, because that's not good for anybody, especially for me, because then people come to me saying, why is this being talked about? I don't remember saying this. I'm saying, well, you didn't say it. Maybe right. Out of context kind of thing. But I mean, as well, because like when you were, you know, growing up in, you know, when you were in high school and such, and did you ever get to play? Of course, you probably get to play it, but did you enjoy playing American football?
I played only freshman year. Then I moved to Louisiana, and they actually wanted me to play again, like super bad. But the movie Drumline had just came out, and see, in California, I was living in California at the time, and then I moved to Louisiana. In California, band shit is whack. Like it's like no one does band stuff, right? So Louisiana is different though. It's completely different. It's not just a geek thing to do. So my mom, like I went out there when Katrina had just hit. It was like mid-year, and my mom had like enrolled me in electives and stuff. And one of them she enrolled me in was band, because she knows I like drums and whatnot. So like I said, the movie Drumline had just came out, and that shit was pretty dope. And it was literally just like that. And I was just like, I fell in love with it immediately. And then I was faced with deciding whether I should play football or if I should be in a band, which of course football seemed like the cool thing to do. Then I had both teachers pulling me back and forth. The football guys like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to do this. You're perfect for football. And the band person, no, Donovan, you like music. Like they pull me back and forth, because you can't do both. Because
that's true.
You know, like the band does like the halftime show and whatnot. Like there's no way to do both.
That's true.
So then I had to sit there and think about it, and my love for music kind of was like, that's when it first kind of showcased. Like it took over for sure. And I knew I'd be active the entire year, rather than football being one thing and then I got to do basketball, you know, different things. So I already do too many different things at once. So it's like, okay, I can focus on just this. And I know it's year round, because even after the season's over, then you have indoor drumline. Then you have like little gigs you do throughout the entire year. Then out there they had Mardi Gras, so I was in Mardi Gras parades. Like I just loved it. Like it definitely stimulated my brain on some extra stuff.
Nice. It's interesting story. It's a bit like heaven and hell on your shoulders there. You know, one thing you play football, the other thing you to choose music. So you know, it's interesting there. Different things, but I bet it got quite annoying for you as well. Like, you know, please don't leave me alone. I make my own.
Right, and they would say that I'm a kid at the time too, so they would say all kinds of crazy shit to try to get me to do it. Like, and it's like I trust them, so I don't know which one to believe. But the band guy kind of had my heart a little bit more though. I kind of trusted him a little bit. The other guy, I felt like he was just trying to use me.
What has been some of your favorite moments then in the world of music since you've been a part of it since 2008? Then
favorite times would be, honestly, it's all the shows. The shows are always, especially if it's like a packed show, like where it's like wall to wall, to where your heart starts beating for you. Because I'm a person that would always say like I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. But then it's like you kind of really are when it happens, and you would think it would mess you up, but it doesn't. It just brings something out of you that you didn't know existed. So like those are the best times, doing like amazing shows, and then recording new material. That's always fun. Like that's one of the only things. My brain is always going 100 miles per hour. That's one of the only times that I feel like nothing else in the world matters, kind of. So that, and then all the relationships you make, like all the dope people that you meet. I love those times, like when you like all the behind the scenes executive parties and stuff like that. That, you know, let me experience things I hadn't experienced before, stuff like that. It's probably those are probably the greatest things I could think of right now up top.
Yeah, don't blame you. There was some cool moments you've had there, and I do hope you have some more cool moments you can add to those this year, and because we look forward to see what you do in 2021. As I say, you know, we're about 2 or 3 weeks into January already. It's gone very fast. But I mean, like, have you got this might be an interesting question for you, maybe not, but we'll see. Have you received anybody, you know, who is your a big a big following? Have you had like a big verified person for you on your social media yet? If you have, who is it? Or not?
Someone that I'm like a huge fan of.
Well, like just like a verified tick. Someone who's quite popular.
There's a bunch of verified people that follow me, but it's not anyone that I'm really just like. I mean, I've spoken with a lot of them though.
Okay.
I mean that's pretty cool
that.
because now once you get the check, it's like and it's not just about the check. It's also like, okay, the check made me click your profile, so now let me look at your profile, and they see that you're doing something. They're more than likely to respond. That's kind of the reason why, like, if you notice when you get a DM, it tells you their number of followers and whatever else. I was like, why does that matter? But I think that's why, so they can it kind of lets them get the gist of you before they click your profile. But once you're verified and your profile is legit, like they definitely respond way more, and they're more open to
doing stuff,
conversating with you about whatever you want to conversate about.
So who are some of the people you've had the opportunity to chat to then, and maybe even do some review in the future?
Fat Joe, Davies, Currency, T.I.
Nice.
It's a good amount of people. There's a good amount of people. Because the thing is, I'm always reaching out to work, like to do more work, even if I have to pay for something. You know what I mean? Like I'm always reaching out and just so I can get the idea of it. Maybe it may be something that's affordable. Maybe it wouldn't be, but at least I know for the future. And I know that they're there and they're open and they're willing to work with me. Because it's not just about the money. For a solid artist, it's not at all just about the money. Like it's about you. They're like them wanting to work with you. They're not going to put their cosign on something that's garbage.
True, and it gives.
I was trying to think of a nicer way to put that.
No, it's fine. I like how you put it. And I'm sure many of my viewers will also like it as well. You just saying it as honestly as you can possibly say, and I like it because you're reaching out to people so that when it comes to the right moment and place, you can then reach out to them again and say, hey, you're still interested in doing this. How about we do some maybe this weekend, for instance, and then you guys can collab together, can't you? At the time it suits both you and the person you're wanting to collab with, or vice versa as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So then, have you got anything coming up in the next month or so, or are you quite free for the time being in your projects?
I don't have any shows coming up. Usually just always shows. I'm going to have recording sessions coming up. I have a few features I have to do for people, stuff like that. I mean, I'm active. It's just not active in the way that I would like. Yeah, I don't have any shows coming up, obviously. I mean, but I have seen that they're starting to open things up in other parts of the country. So I recently had like one here and one there, and that was actually cool just to touch the microphone. It's been so long. So as far as shows and stuff like that, it's pretty dormant right now.
And what about your music then? You still quite actively in recording new music and dropping them sometime in the future?
Yeah, no questions. Yeah, that's nonstop. I actually wrote something dope yesterday. As far as the next project, I kind of want to. I always have enough material to release another project. It's just that I want to be able to put enough behind it to where it generates more of an awareness than previous projects have. Like, in other words, so if I release something, you gain a few fans here and there. I would gain most of mine from shows, like I was saying earlier, but you'll gain a few fans every time you drop something, and all the ones that have been waiting, they're going to be on board, and then whoever's riding with them in their car is going to get put on you. So it does happen that way. It's just a slower process, so you stay underground a lot longer. So as far as when I'm going to drop something new, I just know it's in the near future. It's going to be very soon.
Very soon. By what he means by very soon, it means could be any time, maybe like tomorrow, maybe to 3 months from now. But you got to keep up to date with him on the social media. DMoney Johnson, is it DMoneyJohnson.com? It's the website where they can keep up to find out where you are on social media and where they can find your music, because you're on Spotify, you're on YouTube. I'm guessing you're on Apple Podcasts as well, or Apple Music, just say. And even SoundCloud, I'm guessing as well, and maybe wherever else people get their music from.
Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. Yeah, but stuff like that, I mean, the fans that are there, like, you could have 100,000 fans, but really there's like 100 of them that's like legit, to where like they're dying for new shit and whatnot. Like there's this kid that I know, that's in Georgia that would say he uses my music when he goes out on the field. He plays baseball. When he goes out on the field, my song is the song that they go out to. Like, and hearing that, especially when you're down and wanting to stop worrying about it and worry about other things going on in life, that really keeps you going. Or then you have those people that keep you going as well because they believe in you and they're solid about it and they're genuine. Kind of like the comment that we got earlier from Big Win. He, since it's the very, very beginning when I was like deciding that I really want to take the next level, he was there the entire time, just keeping my head solid, motivating me, telling me all the things that he did, what he would do. And it was dope too because he was giving it to me from not like a current standpoint. Like, this is what used to work, this is what would work. And a lot of those things still would work. People just sleep on them. So of course I'm going to soak all that knowledge up and take it like a sponge. And he definitely did his just with me. Like no questions asked. Like he was there when nobody else was there, really.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And because you want somebody who's going to be there to motivate you and to support you and just give you lots of positive. Because if you have too much negative, it can kind of like fall flat on your back and can't be bothered. Because you might not think of any new ideas or songs and such. And you might feel, what's the point? I need a break. But by having a support group around you, it can keep you motivating and keep you coming up with new ideas and such. And that's something we discussed as well with my guest from Monday as well, something similar on the lines of that. So it's quite useful advice. And actually as well, what advice would you give to somebody who may be watching this right now and might be a new person coming into the world of music and may need some advice of how to start a growth? Because I know you mentioned earlier about going on the streets and doing it that way, but is there something for new starters to do before they do that, or is that the way to go?
What I would suggest is make sure you really want to do it. You're not just doing it because you can do it or because it's easy. You feel like it'd be easy. Like, you have to make sure that you really want to dedicate everything to it. Like, literally everything. Like, it's better if you don't have a job. It's better if you're not in school. It's better if everything goes towards it. Because if I'd have did that before, then I'd be way bigger right now. Like, I mean, with the moment I decided that I didn't want to worry about anything else, what anybody else said, a job or nothing like that, that's when it started kind of taking off more. So the advice I would give you is to first make sure that this is what you want to do. And once you decide that, don't stop. And yes, not just what you said as far as going out and building relationships with people. You have to use every avenue.
Oh. Have we lost him? Oh, right, okay. Well, yes, we have. Okay, so we apologize. We lost connection with my guest. I don't know how that happened. We'll try and bring him back shortly in a matter of seconds. I'm just going to end that call, and we're going to try and reach him here, because it kind of just ended unexpectedly there. So we apologize. You're watching the DMoney Johnson interview. It looks like my guest has lost internet connection, which is not very good for me, but hopefully we'll get back here shortly. It is 100% live. If you do have a comment, however, to do with DMoney, please do leave it in the comment section below or in live chat, and I will respond to you as we speak here. While we reconnecting DMoney, because I'll tell you, he's lost connection. He needs obviously he's not paid his electrical bill this month to keep him on the internet. So we can't reach him at the moment. We're going to keep trying because it's a live broadcast and he said he's active. So maybe he didn't like my question there, but he's in mid conversation about advice to new people in the music business of how they can get started and start to get an audience and start to grow in the world of music. So hopefully I will give you some advice regarding that. We will try and reach him here one more time. If we can't reach him the next minute, we will end this video on the maybe not the way I want to end, obviously, but we'll try and keep reaching him here. Hopefully he will respond. So we apologize for keeping you all here on this chat. Oh, here we go. It's ringing. So you might be on here in a moment, hopefully. Let's see. It's ringing. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it's ringing for me. So we're going to see if he answers now. Hopefully he will. He might have got mad and got off. But let's see what happens. Let's see. Come on, answer your phone. Answer. Come on, let's see. Hey, he's back. Welcome back. We thought we lost you. But it's good to see you back on the call. We don't know what happened with you there, but it's good to see you back. Hello, Jay Callow as well. Welcome to the stream again. Anything can happen live. I mentioned that to you before, D-Money, didn't I? Remember earlier when I said to you, this is why I do it live for the unexpectedly, and this is what happened. You froze, right. And so, obviously you need to put some money on the electric bill to keep you back on the internet. So it's good to have you back, but you made conversation. So I'll let you resume if you can remember what you were saying before we got disconnected.
So basically, you need to use every avenue, every and anything. So that way, it's like you won't wake up one day, not have made it, and saying I could have done this or I could have done that. That's always a fear I've had. That's why I just go balls deep in everything when they because it's like I don't know what is going to be that's going to take me to the next level. Of course, make smart decisions. And when I say everything, I mean don't do everything, but anything that you kind of feel that would help you, you definitely should do it.
Gotcha.
No questions asked.
Well, I do hope, as I was saying on my own there, while we were trying to reconnect you, we hope that the advice D-Money is giving you today is a starting point for you if you are new and interested to know how I can grow and get more fans supporting me and take me to the next level where D-Money is at right now and going to go as well, because we hope that D-Money goes much more farther and grow his reach, means he's able to come around the world with D-Money headlining shows where you are, hopefully soon as well. And I want to know, because we got a lot of people tuning in, where can they give you suggestions for songs, maybe maybe some inspiration for songs, then, or don't you like taking requests? I
do. I would just drop comments on everything.
Yeah, there you go. That's easy peasy. There you go. That's easy peasy. Because you might use it in the lyrics of his song, and you say, "Wow, we actually." Use
for sure. I would. Sometimes people will say things. I'm having a conversation with them, and they'll say something that's so intriguing to me, and I'm like, I'm going to use that in one of my songs. And they always think I'm bullshit, and I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm going to use it. And then the next song I drop, next thing you know, what they said is in there. And if they listen to my music, then they'll catch it. If not, then they don't already know. They're already slow.
Yeah. That's good to hear. I'm glad I like that. I'm glad we got that here. Again, you can follow D-Money on social media. Facebook on D-Money Johnson. Twitter is, of course, right out on your screen, is one and only D-Money. And, of course, Instagram, one and only D-Money. Was the word D-Money Johnson not available on Twitter or on Instagram? Is that why you went for one and only D-Money?
Well, before I had the Johnson, I came up with that handle. So I've been kind of wanting to change it. But when the reason why I like everything to be the exact same is because one thing I've learned is people want things to fall right into their lap. So if I keep everything simple and the same, they'll better find me on anything. Now, would I like to switch it on to D-Money Johnson? I would, but I think the name was taken already. So I would have to add numbers behind it or something like that. So I'd rather keep it simple. And and I want to maintain the name the only D-Money, because I don't know any other rappers that are named D-Money that are like at least, on a super broad scale like I'm trying to reach. So I'd rather try to own the name.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wish I could, because I would have my name Edward Fowler Show on Twitter, but unfortunately, guess what? It's not taken. It's apparently too long to have on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it's because I'm not verified yet. So when I get verified, whenever it will be, if I ever do, I can then hopefully change that. I'm waiting for that. That's why I can't change. I tried for years to try and change that. I don't know why it's too long. But maybe I got to contact Twitter and ask them politely and say, can I have this name? But I don't think they'll listen to me at the moment, because they think, who's this small timer? I need to be somebody big. But there we go. I hope that explains stuff there. And one last question for you before we do wrap this up. Who would you recommend me to contact next, or even help me to get in contact with next, to come on the show to follow D-Money here on the Edward Fowler Show?
Like who could be your next guest?
Yeah, exactly. Just for recommendations, because we reached out to many people as well. We're just waiting for responses, which they probably will not respond to. But we got a few people in the works, but depends if they want to respond or not. It's up to them, isn't it? But yeah.
Reach out to Flex. He'll do it. Okay. He does a lot of things like this, and he's very inspirational. He enjoys doing this kind of thing and talking and helping people. So yeah, reach out to Flex. I forget what his handle is, but I will for sure get it to you as soon as we end this.
Cool. No problem at all. And we just got another comment from Big Wen, if that's how you pronounce it. Beats, great job. I appreciate you. You're very welcome. If you were done it at me or at DMoney there, we both say thank you very much for your kind words there. And we hope you enjoy this episode of the Fowler Show. From DMoney, as well as listening to Southern California in a lovely sunny day there. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day in California. And I hope that sometime soon you get to go back onto the East Coast and get back on that side of the world, like in places like New York and New Jersey and Miami. Welcome to Miami. You know, some great hot people there as well. And I hope you get to tour Australia and New Zealand and the UK as well. It'd be great to see you.
Australia, I can't wait to try too. I got a lot of people in Australia that's been asking me to go out there. I can't wait to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The first international place I'll probably go to though is probably like Beijing, because I already had that one set up. So
wow, there you go.
That'll probably be the first one. After that, yeah, I can't wait to come to the UK. Can't wait to go to Australia. All those sound dope.
Whereabouts in Beijing we going to go, and how big was the venue?
It's in Beijing.
Yeah. And
we were just working out all the details and stuff right before all the COVID stuff happened.
Ah, okay. So was it going to be
quite a big audience? To solidify it. What's that?
Was it going to be quite a big audience to?
Yeah. And the thing about the person I was dealing with there is that they literally market you like crazy before you even get there. And I found the venue because of a friend of mine had just done a show out there, and he sends me videos when he's there of his face on billboards and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
It's like they really did him justice, and they paid him pretty well too. So the moment I started looking into it, I ended up all this stuff happened, like I said a second ago. So, but don't worry, as soon as this ends, I will be there and I'll be everywhere else.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best luck going to Beijing, because when you make it there, you make it anywhere probably, because I'm sure the whole of China will know who you are when you finish touring in Beijing for sure. But yeah, we appreciate you there, and we hope that you've enjoyed this edition of the Fowler Show here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. They're both on your screen now. If you want to follow me by who's going to be on next on the show, it could be Flex for all you know, but you have to tune into my social media to find out for officially when I announce it on my social media. So Flex should just get another plug, so he now has to agree, doesn't he? Because he just got called out by both of us, so he's going to have to agree now, won't he? But if you have enjoyed this edition of the Fowler Show, make sure you do like it, make sure you do share it around to all your friends, and share it to people who may have never even heard of DMoney. So you've got to check out this show to find out everything to do with DMoney, because I'm sure after you watch this with DMoney, you'll become a fan of his, and then you can follow him on social media to help grow him even more into more fan bases, because the more people know about DMoney, the bigger he can get, and the bigger audiences he can entertain once things are back open to him publicly around the world. Also as well, make sure you do leave a comment in the comments hidden below to let me know what you thought about this interview. Did you enjoy it? Did you think I asked some good questions? Maybe you thought some of my questions weren't very good. But let me know what you think in the comments hidden below, and if you're new around here, then please do subscribe. Means you always subscribe with new content, because there's always new episodes coming from my show once we find out who it will be. Make sure you do click the notification button, so means you always notify when a new episode drops. It will be around 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. UK time usually. The odd one is God knows at 9 p.m. my time. It's like 4 p.m. Eastern, and then 2 o'clock on the West Coast. But it's very rare we do something like that. But it's usually around this time of the day. Quite early though for my guest DMoney, though, wasn't it? Because you were yawning at one point in the app, because it wasn't because I was boring him. It's because he's tired and probably had a nice long lie in and realised I need to get up to do the show. But I
didn't hear the last thing next.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm sure whatever you do next, you will have a great day, and maybe even go back to sleep. Who knows what you may be up to next today.
All right, you have a good one. Appreciate you having me.
You too. And thank you again for watching, and we'll see you all on the next episode of the Fowler Show. If I can say, and that's what video. There we go.